Welcome to the Sherry Andrea Psychic Empath Show with your host, Sherry Andrea. Sherry Andrea brings her listeners interesting discussions and topics related to empathy, psychic and spiritual development, as well as energy work. She is herself a psychic empath, healer, coach, author, and founder of SherryAndrea.com. Welcome, and here is your host, Sherry Andrea.
Hello, everyone. This is Sherry Andrea, and thanks for joining me. I am very excited. Please help me welcome also my co-host, Stella. Say hi, Stella.
Hello, everybody.
I just pulled Stella out of the screening room, and I think she was like mid-sentence. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I am very excited because tonight we have with us T. Gregory, known as Psychic T, and I've been excited all day about our show tonight because T, she is like such an interesting person. She is like awesome. So this is like the show that I've like been waiting for ever since I scheduled her. And like once we talk to her, you will totally understand what I mean. She is gifted with clairvoyance and her strongest ability of remote viewing. She actually uses her gifts in her company, which she has a paranormal investigation company. She helps find missing persons. She's actually helped police departments before. And she has her website and her blog talk radio show, and she is very well known. She is world renowned, and you've probably heard of her on other radio shows, TV shows, interviews, and she also does psychic development courses as well. So we've got a lot to talk about tonight in getting to know Psychic T. And I'm going to bring her on right now. T, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. For a minute, I couldn't hear anything, and then all of a sudden I started hearing. I was like, oh, good, because I thought we'd been off or something.
No, for some reason, it's my technical issues. I have a lag when the intro starts to play. There's like that 2-second lag where I'm just like, okay, is it going to happen for me or isn't it? And so you heard your introduction, and I am so glad that you could be here with us tonight with me and Stella. Like I said, I have been waiting for this interview. I have been overly excited, psyched about it all day, and I am so glad that, we could schedule you when we could, because, you have your radio show as well that you do, 2 or 3 times a week?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Yes, and I've listened in on your radio show, and you've got an awesome show, and I think you do a show with your co-host, which is Lee. What's Lee's last name?
Leanne Peters. We do a show twice a month, once on mine and then once on her radio show. So yeah. And
you guys have great chemistry.
Yeah,
I've noticed
Leanne's
that.
Great. We're best friends.
Yes, I really enjoyed listening to your show. And yeah, that was the first thing I noticed within the first few minutes, what great chemistry you guys had. Now,
yeah, we were
Now, where are you located?
In Indiana, in a small city in Indiana. I never really told anybody my exact city, but I'm in Indiana, in the Bible Belt, girl. That's where I am. Hiding out in the Bible Belt.
Oh, now did you grow up there?
Yep, I sure did. Yeah, I guess that's what took me so long to come out the psychic closet because of where I live.
Right, because you're probably not you're not near a large city, or you're not living in a large city.
The large city in Indiana would be like Indianapolis, and that's like 4 hours away from me. So yeah, so I live in a smaller city, to people who aren't. There are no metaphysical shops here. There are no psychic shops here. There's nothing like that here.
Right. And I bring that up for a reason. It is because I noticed on your website you wrote a book that is called The Adopted Psychic.
Yeah, well, actually, I ended up making a collaboration. I had a book coming out called An Adopted Psychic, and then I had a book coming out called We Are Light, and it was like the beginning and then like a middle and like an end, and I was like, unless I'm going to make this a three-parter, I better put it all in one book. So that's what I ended up doing, and it ended up becoming We Are Light, Visions from the Other Side. And the very first half of the book would be what would have been my Adopted Psychic book, An Adopted Psychic. So, yeah, because I've had a really hard, crazy life where I live. So it's no wonder it took me so long. But actually, I've only been out the psychic closet for it'll be 4 years in June. So I haven't been out that long.
Now, were you awakened and knowing you had psychic abilities when you were young, growing up?
Well, I didn't know they were psychic abilities. I'd never even heard that word before until years ago. But I knew something was different about me because I would do things and then other kids would be like freaked out. And I would think, doesn't everybody do that? I mean, I thought everybody could do it. So I didn't realize that I had anything wrong with me until I had gotten to one of the foster homes. Because me and my brother, we were like in 19 foster homes before we got adopted. I think I was like 11. And it wasn't until I got to the one that finally adopted us that she was like, don't do that. Don't do that. People think that's devil's work there. Don't do that. So I didn't even know that it was anything wrong or that anything was wrong with it. I just figured it was something that everybody could do, and for some reason nobody talked about it. And that's what I thought it was.
Exactly, because I've heard that so often from people saying, well, growing up, I assumed the things I could do and the things I experienced that everyone else did as well. So I could totally relate to that.
Yeah.
Now, what you spend most of your time doing, though, is you have a paranormal investigation company.
Right. Well, it was kind of like a mixture in the beginning. It was like a missing persons, and then it was like a paranormal. And sometimes I'd get calls to be the paranormal, and sometimes I'd get the missing persons. And then somehow the paranormal kind of took a back seat, and the missing persons stepped forward and went full swing. So the missing persons probably do the most.
How did you even start doing that? Like the first couple of times you did it, was this just someone just happening to ask you, hey, can you help me with this? How did you end up getting started?
I'm going to tell you a story that's in my book, so I'm not embarrassed to tell anybody now. But had you asked me 2 years ago, I'd have been like, I'm not telling you, Sherry, but I'll tell you now since I've already put it in my book. But what happened is that, I was a family law attorney working downtown in the prosecutor's office for child support. And what happened is there was a child that went missing, and I just, I always kept my gift to myself. I never told anybody, and this was like about, 4 years ago, right as I had came out the psychic closet, and I thought, if I'm coming out the closet, I might as well let people know, So I went, and I kind of told him what was going on and where I thought he was and everything, and guess what happened when they found him right where I said he was?
Really?
You want to know what happened?
Yeah, what happened?
They arrested me.
Are you kidding?
They arrested me. Nope, they arrested me. Yep, because they figured that I had to have had something to do with it to know where he was. And so
that's something you usually only see on movies and TV shows where the psychic gets arrested.
It totally happened. Well, what happened was that they ended up getting the one who actually done it, and then they realized, wait a minute.
Is that literally what it took for them to believe that you didn't have anything to do with it?
Yeah. Had they never caught the other person, I'd probably still be locked up. Yeah. It's that bad.
Goodness.
That scared me to never do it again. Well, what happened? And I had planned on never doing it again. Don't get me wrong. I was never doing that again.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, but one of the investigators that worked here, they had a missing child, well, wasn't a child, I think she was 17, missing 4 hours away in the opposite direction in Kentucky. And he had told them that I had helped with a case here and to see if maybe I would help him, and then that's how it got started.
Wow.
So I was really working with police, detectives, and all that, and FBI first before I even started doing it privately.
But, basically, word of mouth. You started by word of mouth about that first experience.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't the greatest experience.
It was not a good one, but yeah, it was not a good one.
Oh, my goodness. Now, I know that you teach psychic development courses also. So, and just for anyone who is looking for a good psychic development course to take, because I know some of the people I've done coaching for have taken various courses for this and that, psychic development. And so if you're looking for a good course to take, T has an 8-week course that's only $400. Now, that's actually a very good price from what I've been seeing.
Right.
And your course, now this is a thing that really surprised me. This course is one-on-one.
Yep. And the reason I did that is I used to actually do a course that was like little webinars and stuff that was actually 5 or 6 people, and I found that you spend 20 minutes on this person, 20 minutes on this person, 20 minutes on this. By the time the 2 hours is up, you really haven't accomplished a whole lot, So you have to make another webinar and try to make up for the first webinar. And then I thought, this is stupid. This is stupid, because you may have clairaudience, but this person may have clairvoyance. So if we're talking about this, how is that benefiting you? So I decided that I would just do a one-on-one course. The hardest thing is because it's 90 minutes and my schedule stays so full anyway. So to find 90-minute slots constantly, to put these people in is hard, but I managed it. But, I just decided that one-on-one is better because I can help you. I don't want to talk to you for 30 minutes or an hour about clairaudience if you're trying to work on your clairvoyance. I feel like that would help you more develop your gift if we worked on the gift that you were meant to, expand on. And that, I felt that worked a lot better. I know a lot of people don't do that. I don't know why, though. It's not that hard.
No, when I saw that that's how you did it, I just thought, wow, what a great idea, because I feel that one-on-one is better, too, more efficient use of the time that you're spending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you don't want to spend your money and then have to listen to somebody else for an hour. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I have, I've heard people talk about courses they've taken where they were in a group setting, and, I've heard them said, I had to wait, and when I finally got a chance to ask my question, it was just that I needed to ask this question, while everybody else was talking about maybe something different, So, one-on-one, that is a great idea, Now, the reason why I wanted to kind of segue into that and back out of it, because I wanted to ask you one of your greatest strengths is remote viewing.
Right.
So I wanted to, ask you, are you using remote viewing a lot when you are helping somebody with investigation, where you're helping to find either a missing person or I guess even a missing, I assume that you maybe also do missing objects.
Oh, my God, girl, you must have not listened to my show yesterday. I missed it. Going on. Yeah. Well, what happened yesterday is me and the TM Lee show was yesterday, and this girl had called in and she was upset, and she couldn't find her. I don't even remember the whole story now because it happened so fast, but apparently She lost her necklace. Her husband had bought it for her, and she had been to 3 psychics and spent, like, tons of money and been on 17 Blog Talk radio shows, and she had give up. She was open-minded, and she said now she's a skeptic, and she couldn't now she didn't even believe nobody could help her, and that everybody was basically, I guess, safe now. And I took it as a challenge. I normally don't like skeptics, but I thought, you know what, this woman, she's sincere, I'm going to help her. And on the radio show live, I helped her find her necklace. So, and using my remote viewing, I walked her around her yard, walked her through her driveway, and showed her exactly where it was. And she looked down, and there it was. And to me, that's nothing. Everybody was, freaking out to me, and I'm like, that's nothing. That's what I do with my remote viewing every day. So to me, it was, a no big deal, but apparently everybody else was, freaking out about it, I guess.
Well, and I can imagine if a lot of people, I don't know, you could tell, you're skilled at remote viewing. First of all, just for anyone who's listening who doesn't know what we're talking about, can you just basically explain what remote viewing is?
Okay. Well, and I guess everybody has their own little, definition of it, because I have found every other definitions of it. But what remote viewing is to me is, and it works best when I do missing persons cases, but what it does is I just basically kind of get that person's energy, especially if they're missing. I'll get that person's energy, normally from a family member. That's why I always want to talk to a family member, because I need that energy. I need somebody who actually saw that person so I could get their energy. And I'll take myself back to the very last time that person saw him or talked to him, and then fast forward it so I can see what they were doing and how they went missing and what exactly happened and where they are now. So it's kind of the same way I do objects or pets. I just kind of take myself back to the very last time that you saw that object, and then I'll follow you around and see what you did with it.
So is it sort of like following energy around? Because I know you're clairvoyant. So is this something you are visually seeing, or are you?
Yeah, it's like a movie. I don't get flashes. I've never gotten flashes of things. I view it like a movie. It just starts playing in my head like a movie. So I kind of take myself out of the room, and now I'm in this movie. So I'm just watching the movie play, and and I'm just going, piece by piece where things are at, and I've had people try to trick me. I had somebody on the show one time say, well, what does my living room look like then? And I said, I don't know. Leave your neighbor's house and go back to it. And she hung up. So, I have those people trying to trick me. So, and I don't know. I don't know why I can. Yeah, I don't know why I can do it or where it comes from. I know a lot of people can't, which surprises me because, like I said, my whole life, I just assumed everybody could.
Right, and I know that for a while, this is actually something that the government even used, and they have their training manuals that they used to use are still online and available for people to read. So that brings up the question, was this a skill, something that you always had, or was this something that you actually consciously worked on developing?
I always had it my whole life. When I was little, I used to, and I still do it. I only go to 2 stores in the whole city. That's a grocery store and a Walmart. I won't go anywhere else. But what I do is I'll walk around with my head completely down, just completely down, because if I look up, I got your energy. Now, and within within a minute, I can see you from last week to now and everything you did. So, and I've never learned how to turn it off. I just always keep my head down. Even with friends, family, I always have my head down. They probably think I'm the most ignoring person on this earth because I always have my head down. Always. It's crazy.
Oh, wow. Now, do you actually, do you get people that sign up for your psychic development course that ask you to teach them a skill?
Yeah, and I always do a test. I always you have to fill out 50 questions that I send you before we start. And I have to see what your skill is. So if I see that you're best in clairvoyance, then yes, I might be able to teach you to bring that remote viewing up to the front. But if I see that it's clairsentience, and that's what you're strongest at, and right now the clairvoyance and remote viewing is so in the far back of your mind, I'm going to teach you to do the clairsentience first, because once you can master that, you can go back and try to master something else. But you need to master the one that you're strongest in first.
Okay, I got you. So if someone comes to you to take a course, and what they're manifesting naturally, and their strongest thing they're manifesting is clairaudience, you're going to work on helping them bring that out and develop that first, and then they can maybe move on to developing maybe that other skill.
If it's there, if I see that it's there, I say that everybody is born psychic. We all come over here with abilities, but we all don't come over here with all the abilities. So you might be born into this world to use clairaudience as your gift. So you don't really want to work on something that you weren't meant to use while you were here, because now you're ignoring the one that you were supposed to. So it's kind of like that, like me, I kind of have, and I say sixth sense, but I kind of have all the senses. I'm not really sure of one that I don't have. But like I said, I've always had those. So I guess I was born to have all of those to do what I do maybe, but not everybody can do everything. So you may want to have remote viewing, but that doesn't mean you're able to.
Right, because do you feel that if you don't have the need of a skill, it normally doesn't, just manifest on its own.
Right.
Maybe if you don't have a use for it and you're not using it, it may not develop for that reason.
I think that you can develop it yourself to a certain degree, but if you're not born, with it, and you're not meant to have it in this lifetime, it's only going to go so far. You can't force it to happen, because it won't. So that's why I try to explain to people, you may want to see ghosts, but unfortunately you hear angels. So, you work on what you're supposed to, and then that's what, you can manifest things in your life by using the skill that you were born with and meant to use. If you try to use a skill that you don't have or force it to come, then the things that you want to happen from that ability are not going to happen, because that's not your ability. You're just trying to force something on yourself that you don't have.
Exactly. So now when you use remote viewing, are you, is sight, hearing, are all of your senses being used during remote viewing, or is it mainly just clairvoyance?
It's all of them, because I can say that I'm having a vision and I'm in a movie theater looking for a lost child or something, where I can smell the popcorn, I can see the movie playing, and I can hear the movie playing, and I can feel myself walking and touching things. So it's basically just all of them that it's honestly like I'm living it. It's like I walked into the picture and it just became part of my world. And I know that sounds like that's exactly how it happened.
Well, and it reminds me of the TV show, the Dead Zone. You remember that show?
I have never seen that. But see, I never saw Medium for the longest time, and then one day I watched it and then I liked it, but it's crazy because Medium, if you take Medium, Ghost Whisperer, and maybe the movie Sixth Sense, that might be more accurate of what I am. So if you took all those three shows together and tried to make one person that did all the three shows together, that probably would explain it better.
Well, you've got to see an episode of the Dead Zone, because I think, to me, that more closely resembles somebody trying to portray remote viewing. Someone touching an object and finding themselves actually in a scene, in some scene that's playing out.
Right. Yeah. Gosh. Okay. Now you're gonna have me watching it. I'll be looking for it on Netflix.
Well, you've got to see it at least one time, because usually television shows, they're done in a way that somebody, they can portray it because it's TV. So usually it's not very realistic to what actually happens and what's going on. So I would say the dead zone is fairly close to maybe what's going on.
Okay.
So you've got to see it. You got to catch at least. It's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, it's on there, so you can see all the back episodes. So you've got to just see it one time, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
I will definitely watch it.
And that brings up: do people ever want to give you an object, to use the object to pick up the energy off of an object to help to find a person?
The psychometry, well, I have done that before. Law enforcement has given me things before, but I've never needed them. It's like when people who have missing persons want to fly me out to like Arizona or California or somewhere to do a missing person. I'm like, I honestly swear to you, I can do it from my living room. I do not need to fly out there, and I never have to. I always can take myself there. So without a picture or whatever, but I usually don't ask for anything because I've never really needed to use anything. I just basically, talking to a family member helps, but if it's like a detective who's been working the case and knows a lot about the case, then I can pick up the energy from them. But when I do missing persons, I don't want you to tell me anything. I don't even want the name of the person that I'm looking for, because if you start telling me things, I won't even do it. I'll refuse it.
Right.
Because I can't, I have to get it from myself. I can't get it from anything that you told me, because that hinders what I see, because I may see this, but you told me this, so now I'm trying to rationalize it. So I work best if I just know nothing.
So now, because I've heard of when there's been people missing, I've heard of, psychics coming cross country, driving the area, trying to pick up, a sense, trying to pick up energy. And do you think that's because of the type of ability they had to do that?
I would say so, because, a lot of people are good in, like, psychometry, but a lot of times they need that, they need to go to the area, or they need to have an article of clothing or something from that person, and so because they can't remote view and they work off their senses or maybe flashes or visions or something, then they usually will go to the area. I've never had to do that, never. So I don't know, but I've had tons of offers.
Well, I can imagine, but I can imagine that would probably give the person more comfort, you coming out to them, you know what I mean, more than you needing to. It might be giving them more comfort, although it's not necessary.
Right, and I always tell them it's not necessary, and I always tell them that I have a family and a herd of children, and unless they want me and all my kids to come and bathe them, it's probably smart if I did it on the phone.
That's right, because how many kids do you have?
7.
Yes, because I remembered reading that, and I was like, oh my goodness, when does she still find time to do even one radio show a week?
I know, and I do like tons of them, It's crazy, but yeah.
Now, I have one 8-year-old, so I got to ask you this question. How do you manage to get 7 children to be quiet during a radio show?
Because I have an older daughter who's 17, and she will crack the whip. She will take over and tell them to be quiet.
So that is what I need.
Yeah, she does not play. She knows Mama does this for them, so she knows she better crack that whip and make it be quiet.
That was the question I was really curious about. I was like, I have to ask her how she manages to get them to be quiet, because I've got one, and at any second, he's asleep now, but at any second, he could be out in the room, hopping around, playing with the dog, totally seeing me talking on the radio, and totally missing the clue of what's going on.
Oh, girl, please. If they come in here, all I got to do is whip around and give them that little go run. I'm not worried about it.
So now you also are founder and publisher of Spirit Magazine.
Yes. Love it. Yes.
Now, is this a weekly publication, monthly or quarterly publication?
It's crazy. It was monthly. We had two magazines. Well, we have four magazines altogether, but we had two magazines that were running every other month. Well, every month, then every other month. And now they're kind of running like a big magazine that's like quarterly, like 3 months at a time. They're big. And then we do special magazines on the side. And plus we do publishing because, of course, we publish my book. So we do publishing, too, and we have a bookstore, and we do counseling for other people wanting to publish, too. So, yeah, we do we do a lot. I would say we, but me and Leanne run it. So it's basically us on the whole of all of it.
Okay, now, can you tell us what type of things that we find in the magazine? I'm assuming we find great articles. I mean, what's your typical magazine? What's a typical publication?
It's got everything in it from, it's definitely like a new age magazine because it's got like spiritual, metaphysical, angel. They do we have a girl that does tarot readings. Leanne does her healing cards in there. I might write an article about like maybe an herb or a ghost experience or something. We have several paranormal ghost writers in there that have paranormal ghost hunters, in there, and we just whatever, if it's new age and it's metaphysical or spiritual or paranormal, I mean, we'll read it, and if it's something we think our viewers will want to read, then we'll put it in there. It's free. I mean, anybody can submit. That doesn't mean you'll get in because we get hundreds of submissions every month. It doesn't mean you'll get in, but we will consider you, and if you don't get in one magazine, you might get in the next. We've had covers like Carla Barron, Chris Williams, Lisa Williams. So we've had some really cool people on our covers and in our magazines. And Carla Barron, she's a monthly writer. So we have a lot of cool people in there.
Great. That's awesome. And now, I looked through your website, but I didn't see, I saw where you go on your website to request getting your newsletter. But now, can you get the magazine subscription or like sign up for getting it on your website? And how much does it cost?
If you go to and Leanne's in chat, so I hope she starts putting these links on here for me. She's such a doll. But if you go to it's spiritmagazines.com. If you go to my website and click on magazines, there's a link that will take you over to the other website. And, there it is. Leanne put it in chat. Thank you, Leanne.
Okay, great. And, thank you. I'm like all thumbs when I'm like...
Yeah, so it completely takes you to a whole other website. So the magazines aren't exactly on my site. It takes you to a whole other site that is all about the magazines and how the magazines do.
And now, did you say is the magazine free or what's the subscription?
You do have to pay for it, but, I mean, we keep it as cheap as we can. Okay, so like you get for a 3-month magazine, which, I mean, is thick, and you get a perfect bound magazine, which is like a book. It's not even flimsy like a magazine. I mean, it's like a nice, thick coffee table book, and it's like 8 by 11. It's huge. And for a really thick 3-month one, it's like $15. It's nothing. So, and we could charge like $50 or whatever like everybody else is doing, but we only charge what it costs us to print. We make no money off these magazines whatsoever. None.
Okay. That's really good. Now, where did you did you already have some experience with magazine publishing or with publishing in general?
No. It's just something I wanted to do and figured it out. See, that's another thing. I don't know what happened, but I was born, really intelligent, so I'm like a genius. So I've never even really read a book in my life, except I've read 2 of Leanne's, and that's pretty much it. But, like, when I went to take the bar, I never studied a day in my life. I just walked in, took it, and passed it.
Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, I've never, ever studied a day in my life. I've never cracked a book, even in childhood.
Wow, you're one of those people I used to envy in high school.
Yeah, I'm just, like, really smart, and I don't know if it's because of the gifts I have that the answers just automatically come to me, but I do know this. If I would open a book and read it, I'd know it for my whole life. Like, I could go back, like, 15 years later, go back to that exact same page in my mind and read it again. So I never had to own books, because once I read it, I have it. I know it. It's, like,
wow.
in my mind ever. But, yeah, so I guess that's why. That's like in college and law school. I probably cracked 2, and people that know me will tell you this. I probably cracked 2 books the whole time I was there, and I don't know. I never studied, and I told them I was ready to take the bar, and I still had a year to go, and they said let her take it, and I passed it first time. Never studied.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So let me ask you this question. Stella has a question she would like me to ask. Do you have mediumship skills when doing remote viewing? Do you ever use those? Do you ever get any spirits coming forward to you in the process of even, like, when you're helping someone find a missing person? Do you ever get a spirit coming forward to you to try to help to give you information?
Hon, if I had a nickel for every spirit that comes to me, I would be rich. I could never get them away from me. You know, I always listen to these people on their blog talk radio shows, and I rarely listen to some except for a few, but they always say, oh, you know, close your eyes, wish them away. You know what? I wish, because I have never, no matter what I've done, ever got them to leave me alone. And when I do readings, they all start coming to me whispering names. And they're just like, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're always with me. When I'm talking to somebody with their energy, people just start coming out the woodwork. And it's like, not now, I'm doing a show. So it is crazy but I'm so used to, when I was little, I used to put my cover over my eyes because that was my break. That was my break, because when I put the cover down, even at 3 a.m., they're still standing there. So the people that say they don't go to the bathroom with you and they don't watch you in the shower, that is a load of malarkey. Maybe they get out of your way so you don't see them, but they're there, honey. They're there.
Yes, that is so funny. Yes, that is so funny, because I've said that to people before. I've said, you know what? I do not know why. When I am sitting on the toilet, that is when someone wants to come to me. That is when I'm feeling somebody, like, touching me, or I guess this is when you think I'm most available.
That is so funny, because I always come out the bathroom and my husband's like, what'd you see? I mean, it's become like an everyday thing now. And like, I'll go in there to go bathroom and just be minding my own business, and I'll come out going, you know what, your uncle's really getting on my you know, trying to go bathroom, and it does. They feel like, because you're quiet and you're by yourself, and they feel like they can get your attention. That's why.
Yes. And, you know, there are some people that, you know, they want to develop abilities, and, you know, they'll say, oh, you know, I really want to, practice mediumship. They've got people they want to talk to. They've got loved ones that's passed on, or they think it's a cool skill. And I always say, you know, there is nothing like the experience of having, you know, someone come and feel someone sit at the foot of your bed every night after you go to sleep. You know what I mean? I was like, until you experience that, you can't imagine, you know, until you have that experience where it's like, oh, okay, you know, I was getting ready to go to bed, and then I feel you sit at the foot of my bed. Like, are you going to watch me all night? Until you have that experience.
Yeah, and you know what cracks me up is half the time they don't even need anything. They're just there. What do you need? And they just look at you like, am I supposed to need something? And they look at you like, I'm just here. What? You know, it's like,
exactly.
It's crazy. They don't even need nothing. But it is crazy, because sometimes, you know, I have had spirits reluctant to come to me, And I'll get my dog. I had my dog pass away, Precious. She'd been with me since she was 5 weeks old, and she died when she was 12. And I'll say, Precious, go get him. And she'll get him. And bring him back. I'll be like, look here, I need to ask you a question. You're not going to make me look crazy in front of this client. You're going to answer this. So
now, I have a little Lhasa Apso, so can you teach me how to train my dog?
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm not a dog whisperer. I know I had this lady one time contact me, and she said, I need you to tell my horse to stop bucking. I'm like, honey, I am not a horse whisperer. I am sorry. I can tell you if you have pets with you, and some of them I could talk to, but, I guess there's a whole other thing for that.
Yeah, but I can imagine you must get people asking about lost pets, too.
Yep, all the time. All the time. Yeah.
Now, do you do just as well as pets as with people, or is there a difference? Is there a difference in the energy that you pick up when you're looking for a pet versus a person?
There is, because you got to think that, and a lot of people say, oh, animals are domestic, but they're not. I mean, they're really wild. So, and I find a lot of times, like when cats run off, especially cats, it's because they chose to and they knew what they were leaving. So, it's crazy how animals think, because when I do pick up what they're thinking, it always amazes me how wild they actually are. Even though we've domesticated them, they're still very wild. But I can find pets. I can't think of a pet that I wasn't able to find. I'd have to think really back, but I find most of them. Some of them don't want to be found. I find, like cats, mainly cats. Cats tend to be really wild in nature.
Because of their independence, how independent they are?
I think so. I've just always found that when they leave, they're not lost. They know where they're at and where they're going. They just choose not to go back for some reason or the other. Normally it's because the wild side is larger than the domestic side, and they feel the need to go out there and scavenger and see what's out there. They can't really be boxed in, and that's normally why pets run off.
Now, how does that go over when you try to explain that to someone who's like missing their cat? I mean, does that go over well?
It does not. So what I do is I tell them this. I do it the nice way. I tell them this. I say, well, I'm going to help you find him, but chances are they will probably run away again. But I'll help you get him this time, and that's usually what I say. And if I know the cat purposely does not want to be there, I won't find him again. And I'll tell them that. I'll find him this time. Because with me, it's not about the money. I'm not worried about the money as I am people, understanding why things happen in their lives and not always trying to fight, within themselves. Like people who want to be with somebody like love-wise, but that other person has no interest in that person. But they constantly want to do a reading with you, finding out what they're doing, who are they with. It's not meant to be. I might do a reading for you a couple times, but after that and after I've already told you, I won't do a reading again.
Right. I mean, that's understandable. I mean, because, if you've already told someone what's, going on with their pet, then it becomes something that now, this is an issue that they are now going to have to deal with, kind of being able to let go.
Right. I usually tell them, let that one be free, and if you need one so bad, go get another. But normally, if you get, and I always tell people, normally if you go to a shelter or something, always get a puppy, always get a kitten. Because if you get a dog or you get a cat, chances are they're going to run off. Because they just, once they get a certain age, they have a different side to them that you really can't do much with. And there are tons of people that are going to be like, oh, she's hateful because I got me a dog and he was 2 years old and he's just fine. And that's good. Then that means the dog chose to stay with you. Not because the dog didn't have it in his mind to go somewhere else. It's because that dog chose you and chose to stay with you. That's why. And that's what people don't understand. We think we choose our pets, but our pets choose us.
Exactly. I feel the same way, and my dog follows me around constantly. So I understand. Whereas I've had cats also. I've never had a cat follow me around like, like my dog does. I can't go anywhere without my dog looking up and going, "Oh, okay, where you going? I'm coming."
Right. Right,
So,
yeah. So your dog definitely chose you and chooses to stay with you because, like I said, at any time he could leave you. He doesn't have to stay with you.
right, exactly. Now, let me ask you, do you, on your website, do you also get people coming to you for just regular general readings?
Right, and what I offer, the 30-minute and 60-minute, they are just general readings. I have like, oh my God, I can't even tell you. I think I have a year and a half wait for missing persons because I do missing persons free. So I have like a year and a half wait for that. But the mediumship readings are separate from my general readings, and it's because it takes me a while to communicate, to make sure I can get that person to come to me, to get all the questions answered. And normally they won't leave me until I tell you everything they want to say. So that's difficult for me because sometimes I can't take them off. So what I do, an hour mediumship reading might turn into 2 hours. So I do that separate from my general readings. But normally when someone buys a 30-minute or 60-minute, it's like love, career, general things like that.
Okay. And now do you do that over the phone, or do you do that via email, or do you offer the person the option of how they want to do a reading?
However they want to do it. I have this one girl that's so freaked out by me but wants to get readings from me that she'll only do it Yahoo Messenger because she's scared. I don't know what's going on with people, but I freak her out so she can't talk to me. I don't know, it's weird, but she buys readings and she goes, "Can we do this Yahoo Messenger, please?" And I'm like, okay. So I get people that, however you want to do your 30 minutes, Skype, phone, however you want to do it, I'm cool with it. It doesn't matter.
That is awesome because that way you can also, it doesn't matter what time zone you're in.
Right.
You kind of can, you can find a communications medium to use.
Right. Well, I'm up all night anyway. Anybody that knows me is I sleep during the day and I'm up all night. By the time I get up usually around 2 or 3. I'm up until probably 7 a.m. So anybody that knows me knows I have enough time to do the USA and then Australia, England, wherever, because I do have a worldwide clientele. Right. So I have to be up at all weird hours. It's crazy.
No wonder you sound so peppy right now. You're just getting started.
Exactly. I've only been up since I think 3. So to me this is like afternoon.
Yeah, this is your afternoon. This is like your daytime.
Yeah, exactly.
So now,
I know my kids love it when I sleep in.
Well, yeah, because they're kind of like, they don't have to. Well, mine would love it if I slept in too, because that's when he gets to do all kinds of crazy things that I normally wouldn't let him do.
Yep.
Now, when do you do your radio show? What days?
Oh God, all different days. I mean, I guess you really just have to watch my Facebook page, Bill, because sometimes I might wake up and say, you know what, I'm gonna do a show today just for the house.
It's funny that you say that because I went to your Blog Talk Radio show and I was trying to see what days you do, and I was like, I don't know what days she does.
They're all over the place. Yeah, because I don't, it just depends on what I'm doing, and plus my PR, she gets me constant interviews on my show, and so
yes, you have an awesome PR person.
Yeah, she is really cool.
I started to email her and ask her, where do I get one of you from? She's
also half my scheduling assistant, because I have a scheduler, and then she needs an assistant. So Chrissy is my half scheduling assistant, half PR, and then Chrissy has a PR assistant that helps her. So it's like I have 3 people that work for me, and they all just pull their hair out. And I said the other day, man, I got to hire another person. This is crazy.
Oh, yes, because you are so busy. I'm
Yeah.
like amazed. You're like my little hero.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you made me feel like I'm not doing enough.
I know, but you know what? You're like me to Leanne, because I sit back and watch Leanne. I'm like, what is she on? Because, I mean, she's like nonstop with the drawing, the cards, the books, blah, blah. And I'm looking at her going, what are you taking? But yeah, so I'm in awe with her like you're in awe with me. It's like, what? So I don't think I do enough compared to her. She freaks me out.
So we've all got that like one person that we're like watching where we're going, oh, okay, that keeps us like kind of going, because we're going, oh, okay, I know I'm not doing too much because I'm still doing less than her.
Right, but you know what? They're brought into our life for a reason, because these people motivate us, and that's good.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to think, why was this person brought into my life, and why do we get along so well? Well, there are motivators, our life mentors, you know, somebody to look up to, and you know, think, wow, that's great, you know, and I'm just lucky to have her in my life, because she keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, and I just loved listening to you guys. Now, let me say this, because you gave, let me give out your Facebook. Now, if you go on Facebook, it's going to be facebook.com/officialpsychict, which is spelled T-E-E. And then your Blog Talk Radio show is, I'm scrolling up. You are on blogtalkradio.com/ what is it? What's your slash?
Psychic-T.
Okay. And then now tell everyone your website.
It's psychict.com, and that's psychic.te.com. And I think you guys do that to me on purpose, because I always go T-E. I laugh when I do it.
Yes, because it sounds like you're saying tee-hee-hee.
Yeah, I know. Everybody calls me that, too. Tee-hee-hee. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then your magazine is spiritmagazine.com. And then what I would recommend for people, the same thing that I did, go to her Blog Talk Radio show and follow her, because if I hadn't followed you, I would have missed like the show that I listened to with you and Lee. So definitely go and follow her, because it's just like me. I try to do a show on a regular basis, but then based on guest schedules, my schedule, I may just change things up. You know what I mean? Last minute, I may switch days or something. So definitely follow her on Blog Talk Radio so that you will get the email messages updating you of when she's going to be on, so that you don't miss her. Definitely go to her website and click on the link to go to the psychic development courses she has, because she really has it laid out nicely, showing you what you can expect from the 8-week course. And basically, you know, you almost give kind of like a curriculum.
Yeah, I do, because and this is why, because I let you pay for the week you want, and I let people do it at their own pace. So if you do the $50 a week, you could do 1 week, and then you might be like, I can only afford 1 week a month. So you don't have to fork out the whole $400 and say, oh, I have to do this schedule when everybody else does class. So say you want to do it on, you know, every 15th Wednesday, or you can say, well, this month can I do on the 22nd, and then next month can I do on the 3rd, or just, I don't care. Whatever week you pay for, it will get you scheduled. So some people might be like, oh, I already know how to do that. So I want to start from week 5 on. So see how it makes that really cool, to where if you feel like you don't want to go through something that you've done in other classes, or you feel like you have that down, you can choose whatever classes, or you might want to do classes 4, 7, and 9.
That's good, because that means you'll cater to where the person is at the time, and kind of let them jump in on that where they need to.
Right.
But if somebody needs help determining where they're at and what they most need, I noticed that included with your course, you do a chakra check or something, and also you give one reading.
Right. If they pay for the full course up front, what I'll do is I'll throw in a one-question reading, and I'll throw in a chakra test and gemstone consultation, because when I have you do the regular test, which is free, of course, to figure out what you're, strongest in, you might be like, well, while we're doing this course, and maybe you're strongest in let's make up one, clairvoyance, maybe, So let's get you something for your third eye. Let's get you some fluorite. Let's get you some amethyst. Let's get you wearing these things to start to open up your third eye. So I might say, well, and half the time I throw in the chakra test. Don't tell nobody. Yeah, I'm telling nobody. But, because if I feel like, you need to wear something and I feel like that's important, then I'll go ahead and have you do that as well. So
that is awesome. So you probably also advise people also maybe herbal teas they can drink, things like that.
Yes, and I even have I have a gemstone Facebook page, and I have like 12 Facebook pages.
I saw that when I clicked on your courses. I think it was color therapy.
Yeah,
right.
I do that.
That you do.
Yeah, love it. I love color therapy. I love toxins. I love all that.
You are amazing. You are amazing. And I am so excited and so happy that I was able to have you on my show. And, maybe at some point, we'll have you back on, and so that we can discuss some other things that maybe we didn't have time for, or we can, we can get a little bit deeper into talking about, psychic development courses, so we can give people even more of an idea about, how you can help them. And I'm going to be on your show coming up. And I look forward to that. Yes, I am. Yes. Your awesome PR person scheduled me.
Yes, she did. She's wonderful. Yeah, and I'll be putting up that link for everybody after this. So I think Chrissy's sick today. That's why she's not in chat. But she's going to send me the link, she said, when she wakes up. And then I'm going to post it, of course, on my Facebook, because that's where I post everything.
Yes, and as soon as you guys get that to me, I'll post that on my website too, and on my Facebook and on my Twitter, all the social places.
Yeah.
And yes, we all have to stay connected. That's a job in itself.
Yes, it is. But hey, I love connections. I love people that I make lifelong friends with. Because, like I said, where I live, I just don't get any of that.
I know. I don't get out that often. I go within like a 1 or 2 mile radius of my house, the stores I go to and things. So I'm just like, I'm 46 going on 47 now. So now I'm happy to just relax at home, do gardening, stuff like that. So, so I'm good. I like doing social networking. That's my getting out.
Definitely.
Well, I have really enjoyed having you as a guest, and I hope you had a good time too. I hope my listeners and followers, got a chance to learn more about you, and we'll go over to your website, check you out. Hey, I've got some, coaching clients that, hey, if you're looking for someone, you've been looking for someone to take a course with, I'm telling you, this would be a great, course to take, because it's going to cater to what you need. Thank you so much. And Stella, she's been typing me notes. So she's been here. She's been typing me notes and things to ask. And Stella, so thank you too.
Well, and can I just ask you a quick question real quick?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Is your grandmother passed?
Well, technically, yeah, yes, on both sides, but probably
what is
the one.
What is the mother's, the initial of what is the first initial of both your grandmas? Does either one of them start with an E?
Okay, wait. On my mother's side, that would be a B as in boy that it starts with.
Okay.
Her name starts with.
Okay. What's the other one? Don't tell me the name. Just tell me the initial.
You know what? This is embarrassing, but I don't know. The reason why is because my father hasn't seen his mother since he was like a little boy. He was raised by his grandmother.
Okay. Does the name Edna mean anything to you?
I don't know. Wait.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
What about Marlene?
That name sounds familiar.
Okay. Find out those two names and then email me, and then I've got a message for you.
Okay. Let me. Edna and Marlene. I'm writing it down. I will find out, and I will email you.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, we only have 14 minutes or so, 14 seconds anyway.
But thank you for an awesome show. You were such an awesome person. And
well, thank you.
And I look forward to being on your show, and we will see everyone on all our respective shows next time around.
Okay, well, thank you for having me on. I had a good time.
You too. Talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.